Chelsea Handler has a message to all you mean men out there who haven't supported LGBTQ and trans-inclusive feminism and BIPOC social justice.
This is my problem with men. Men have been trying to tell me what to do from a very early age.
Since the beginning of time.
Yes. And I know any woman listening understands what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't have the personality, to be told what to do. Right. So now, I go through phases where I'm very attracted to, if I find someone a specific person that I'm attracted to, in general, I'm pretty appalled by what I see. And I think our current political landscape just highlights the fact that men have a lot of work to do. And I know that not all men are Trump supporters, but men are the reason we're in this situation today, where we stand today. Men haven't fought hard enough or loud enough on behalf of women, on behalf of people of color, on behalf of the LGBTQ community. They just have never, it had never occurred to them that they had to stand next to us and fight. Yeah. And so because of that lack of awareness, we are sitting in this situation today. And that puts a real damper on my sex life, because you need to be a really specific, special kind of guy to make me take you seriously enough to have sex with you.
Yeah.
So apparently Chelsea Handler doesn't seem to understand that men will inevitably be among the people telling you what to do from a very young age. That's just part of growing up. Adults tell children what to do. And, since she wants to make it about gender, let's look at who most of those adults actually are, outside of parents. The majority of teachers, the people who most often tell kids what to do, are women. And the vast majority of teachers in this country are female. So actually, for most of us, and likely for her as well, it's mostly women who have been telling us what to do since a very early age. Not big, mean, controlling, women-hating men. And not to mention, right, the prevalence of single mother households. I mean, you combine that with the female teachers, it's nothing but female authority. But of course, right, she intentionally leaves that out. Instead, she chooses to focus on this idea of men telling her what to do her whole life, subjecting her to patriarchy and its supposed oppression, just that constant male boot on her neck. And obviously, Chelsea Handler is a man-hating feminist. That's her brand, right? She's a single, childless feminist. And, to be fair, you got to give her some credit for, at least living by what feminism preaches. Now, she's saying that men are the reason we're in the situation we're in today. And she doesn't really elaborate. But I would say true, and thankfully, because of men, we are in this situation. Things could be a lot worse, if it weren't for men. This country would be completely ruined if it were left up to women, and all their ideas. What's funny, though, is that she acts like only men supported Donald Trump in the last election. But she doesn't seem to realize that women who look just like her, white women, actually gave the majority of their votes to Trump in the 24 election. White women, they get a lot of flack, and rightfully so. But the fact remains, they voted majority Republican last year. And, of course, you can dig deeper into other factors to see where, divides appear among that group. But overall, it's still true. So it's not just the men. But I will say, of course, men should not feel pressured to make sure women like her get their way. In fact, they should make sure that doesn't happen. Because, at the end of the day, we just have fundamental disagreements. We don't see the world the same way. And there's simply no uniting with people who think like she does. And when she says that men have a lot of work to do, right? What she really means is that she just wants men to become more progressive, right? More supportive of not just feminism, but trans-inclusive feminism. Be more supportive of open borders. And then she mentions people of color, which really means like stop condemning DEI and just accept race and gender-based hiring practices that are obviously discriminatory.
These days, it feels like I can't read one single headline without having to walk into my roommate's room and we both either start yelling or crying. Sex robot companies are literally marketing robots which have resistance modes and fight back. I wish I was making this up. I am not. Companies like Real Doll are making hyper-realistic sex robots. They, of course, have customizable personalities. The top-selling ones are submissive and shy, and they have resistance settings for people who want to simulate non-consent. I don't like when people use the word grape on here because it really softens what's happening. They are building rape simulators. And consumers are learning that the ideal woman is one who can't refuse. As a woman, I know what the trickle-down effects of this will be, and I feel frightened and disgusted and horrified.
So the first thing I hope you noticed with that clip is how many likes this blatant lie got. 450,000 likes. She completely made it up. Now, I know she said she didn't make it up and that she wishes she was making it up, but she did. It's a complete lie. What she's doing here is exactly what feminists do best. They take something, they run with it, they distort it, and they lie about it. And they lie, and turn it into a bunch of hysteria, and then push out a bunch of propaganda to mislead the masses. So what she's referencing, actually, it goes all the way back to around 2017 in a Vice article. And they mentioned a company called True Companion, which is no longer around. The website is down. But what I did was I went to the Wayback Machine and I visited their old website, truecompanion.com. The Vice article was about a robot called Roxy. And Roxy, had a variety of different personalities. And one of those personalities was called Frigid Farah. And that is taken directly from their old website. And this personality was described as shy. And there were others like Wild Wendy, who, was the opposite of shy. And this goes all the way back to 2010. So keep in mind, the technology at the time wasn't exactly, cutting edge. But here's where the feminists took it and ran. On True Companion's website in 2010, they wrote, for instance, if you have Roxy using her frigid Farah personality and you touch her in a private area, more than likely she will not be too appreciative of your advance. But if your Roxy is using the Wild Wendy personality, she will want you to do it again. And this is where it all started. So she's referencing a debunked feminist rumor about a company that no longer exists, a company that had a doll with a frigid Farah personality, meaning she would talk shyly, not physically resist. And again, this is in 2010, so you can imagine what that would even be like, barely speaking anything. No company, including Real Doll, which is the one she literally mentioned, has ever marketed a resistance or a simulator mode. She completely made it up, and yet 500,000 people liked it. Now, I'm not pro-sex doll, just like I'm not pro-porn, but I am anti-feminist lies. I encourage you, do your own research. Look into it yourself. You'll find no company that markets a resistance setting or stimulator or whatever. This woman literally said the robot or whatever would fight back. Her words exactly. There's no such thing. We're not even that far technologically. I couldn't even make it happen. There's no such thing. So again, she completely made it up. And she's fear-mongering and spreading the narrative that men are buying resistant robots so they can act out some sort of inherent violent desire that all men possess. And so this entire rumor goes back to one doll in 2010 that had a shy mode. That's it. And on its website, after all the hit pieces came out, True Companion clarified that Roxy is not programmed to participate in a SA scenario, and the claim that she is pure conjecture on the part of others. And at the time, the robot was barely able to move or respond, and it never even made it to commercial release. And so this girl who literally said that sex robot companies are marketing these dolls and these robots with resistance modes that fight back, and even claimed she wished she was making it up, literally did that. She made it up. And she acted like male consumers were just waiting to eat it up. Never trust a feminist.